morning, everybody. It's Rick. It is May 3rd, 2018. My email is rick.0327@me.com. That is the way to communicate with me. I do not speak on the phone. Okay. Alright, so had a couple more success stories. People using my paperwork. I had one guy, my man Dean, is submitted my cease and desist paperwork, and his employer is no longer garnishing his wages. His employer realized what Dean was saying, because Dean's a very bright guy, speaks very well, and showed them that a child support agency is not a court, and only a court of law can issue a warrant. And then they, to make matters worse, their income withholding order, it has a box for a signature by a judicial official, and it's left blank. I don't understand why these people don't understand this, but apparently they're more scared of the government than you. That's really what it comes down to. Okay? Because the child support agency has no problem, giving a warning by saying federal law requires you pay child support by income withholding order, and if you don't, you could, be fined. But they don't cite the law. It's just an open threat. And there is no federal law. It's BS. Doesn't exist. Okay? And they've been getting away with it. And he's the second guy in a week. I reworded my cease and desist paperwork. But Dean didn't have it, so I'm not saying that's the reason. The other guy did. Also, had another guy, Josh. He had my paperwork, studied it, reworded it a little bit, and submitted it. And he was being harassed by one of these fake warrants. Okay, one of my guys. You see him in the comments section, Ron, Genu Ron. He asked a great question, and he's right. It's not a real warrant. Only a court of law can issue a warrant. So not the State Department of Taxation. So like New York State, they issue these bullshit warrants, and it's not from a court of law. So it's not a warrant. It just says warrant. It's like everything else done on paper. It's all fraud. But sadly, when your state government is committing fraud, you're in a battle. And when I discovered this years ago, I went into a really, really bad depression. I mean, it messed me up because I was hopeless. I was like, wow. Who the hell can I go to? I can't go to anybody when I'm being victimized by my own government. And, I was dumb enough to believe, that that things were on the level, okay? I was dumb enough to believe that. And when I found all this out, and when I found it out after reaching out to every possible avenue for help. I mean, I reached out to everybody, and nothing, it fell on deaf ears. You send tons of documentation to the state attorney general, and their response is, oh, we don't see anything wrong. Meanwhile, what they're doing is they just ignore what you show them. And how can you force them to do anything? I'm still of the belief that the only way to really get at these people is to file criminal charges. And I'm not going to say in the video how to do it, because my videos are being monitored. I'm using this right now because my software, obviously I use this a lot, but I'm unable to make a video on my computer right now. The software that I use on my computer is not working anymore. It just won't launch. And I spent the last 2 days trying everything to do it. So there's other avenues, other software I can download to use, and I have done it. I just haven't taken the time to use it. But is it a coincidence? It probably. It's just, who knows. I on the software, it's Screenocast. I downloaded an update and it doesn't work anymore. It literally doesn't work. I wanted to do a video to show you guys how to respond to these letters from these child support agencies. They're debt collection letters, and they're written in such a way. What they do is they lure you in, trap you. Because when you get it, everybody responds. Now, if you read it closely and you learn the tricks that I know, and I've used this, I was being chased by a debt collector for a credit card debt. My credit card company screwed me over. They broke the terms of our agreement. So, as far as I was concerned, the agreement we had was null and void, and I stopped making payment on my credit card. The credit card company really screwed me over royally screwed me over. And all I did was pay down my debt for $4,000 to get my to raise my credit rating. And what they did, I made a $4,000 payment. Then they lowered my credit limit. They lowered it $4,000, so I still it didn't do anything. So I had an $8,000 limit. I owed $8,000. I paid down $4,000. That would have gave me a limit of $8,000. That would have gave me a $4,000, credit. They lowered it $4,000 down to $4,000, and I was 100% maxed out, rather than being 50% maxed out. It's a big difference in your credit, and it was done on purpose. This is how vindictive these people are. I believe that they all work together. It's one of my guys out there is out in Pennsylvania fighting these people with RICO. And he's doing a good job. I'll let you know what's going on with that. It is everything they're doing is consistent with racketeering, 100%, because everybody's involved. It's not just one agency doing it. Okay. But anyway, getting back to the debt collection thing, I used this they sent me the letter, the debt collection lawyer, and I asked them for because what they do is they send you a letter and they address it to you, meaning your name, John Smith, right? Then the rest of the letter is you owe. We'll take money from your paycheck, but they don't use your name anymore. Okay? You and your, they're pronouns. But without an actual noun subject in the sentence is incomplete. Okay? You cannot use, you cannot start a sentence with the word you. You owe me money. Well, who's you? I don't know who you is. And that's the same way you fight these people. You ask them, well, you need to clarify who, and you a sentence, sentence number one, the 1 through 5. And number 1, who is you? And number 2, who is you and your? Please clarify, because I don't know who, I don't answer to you. And I used that, and they stopped collecting me. They gave up. The law firms left me alone. So it works. Anyway, I created a response for that. It's in my paperwork. I sent it to one of my guys. I really think it's a good way of fighting these people. All right. So my next thing to do is I'm going to make a video using the new software, screen capture software. It records everything on the screen on your computer. I like the one I had. It's unbelievable how it just like that. It doesn't work anymore. It's amazing. I don't want to sound all conspiratory and everything. I don't know what they're doing. They got to be watching me. But again, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not doing anything illegal. All I'm doing is people asking me for help, and I'm helping you guys as best I can. I'm taking what I know from my experience, from my research, okay? Then I factor in, a little bit of, my experience when I was a police officer, and, we're getting good results. I mean, a lot of people are happy when they get the paperwork. It gives people hope. And then I've gotten a lot of responses from people. They were like, Rick, these people used to ignore me. Now I file your paperwork and I get responses. Sometimes people, it's really bad when you get ignored. And nobody likes being ignored, And when you file my paperwork, you don't get ignored. Because the way my paperwork is written, it's written that they have to respond. Because everything that I write is based on the Constitution. It's based on rights that you have that are secured by your state and the United States Constitution. And we get a response like almost 100% of the time. All right, and and then there's hope. You have hope, and when they respond, we have evidence, because that response they sent you is evidence of a possible lawless action, of them violating their oath to support the United States and state constitution, the state that they live in. So, if any of you guys are on the fence, and again, I don't want you to think that when I make my videos, all I'm doing is hawking my paperwork. I'm pushing my paperwork because if you feel hopeless, take a chance, okay? It seems like lately I'm getting a lot of emails from people who, having some success. So, sometimes you need to have something to look forward to. And using my paperwork, you have something to look forward to. You have an opportunity to be set free. Okay? I mean, if you could get your employer to stop taking the money from you, that's half the battle. Okay? If your employer is refusing to send them the money, that's what they're going to do then. They'll try and suspend your driver's. Then you go at the DMV. Shut down all of their avenues, because they know what they're doing is illegal. That's why they have these phony hearings. That's why they have their own phony judges. Okay? That's why they have their own phony income withholding orders. They do everything to trick you and to trick others so they can get their money, so then they can have the matching money from the federal government, the Social Security money that they're stealing, that they're pillaging from all the dumb Americans who are too busy, watching TV, believing everything they see in the news. Here's another thing. I don't get into this a lot. Guys, do not trust what you see in the news. Okay? That's all I'm going to tell you. Do not trust what you see in the news. It's all BS. It's all coming from the same place. There's videos on YouTube where they'll show you all these newscasts from all over the country saying the same thing. So like a newscast in Seattle will be saying word for word what a newscast in New York is saying. So what does that tell you? That tells you that one person or a group of people is writing the news. And And they're even using like the same jokes. Like they'll make a joke out of something, and it's said all over the country. So what I'm trying to say to you is that a lot of things on the surface is a bunch of BS. It's fraud. There's a lot of fraud. And the more you wake up, the harder we're going to make it on these people, and the easier to make it on yourself, that you cannot be taken anymore. No one can take advantage of you anymore. Okay? Like, I feel safe now that I know my rights, that I can't be taken by anybody anymore. And if they do, they're going to have a hard time. All right? All right, guys, so I'm going to talk to you guys later. And if you're interested in my paperwork, my email is rick, R-I-C-K, 0327 @me.com. I'll talk to you guys later.